2023. So this is perhaps last session, the session number 6, challenges and opportunity in quality seedling and seed availability of spices, horticulture and plantation crops. For these sessions, convener is Dr. V. Shankaran. This session is co-chaired by Dr. Behera sir and Dr. Lakshmikant. So I request all these dignitaries to come on the dais, please. And the same sessions, the rapporteurs of the session is Dr. Satish Yadav and Dr. G.R. Munde sir. Again, for these sessions, I will take opportunity to felicitate Honorable Chairman sir. So I request Dr. D.N. Gokhale sir to felicitate Dr. Lakshmikant sir by offering shawl, memento and the bouquet. Then again I request Dr. Gokhale sir to felicitate Dr. Behera sir by offering Again, I request Dr. Gokhale sir to felicitate Dr. V. Shankaran sir. Now I request all the dignitaries to start the session, sir. Please, thank you.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Please make silence. ये लंच के बाद जो सेशन हम लोग करने जा रहे हैं, क्योंकि थोड़ा किसान भाई भी दिख रहे हैं पीछे, तो हम लोग थोड़ा हिंदी में वार्तालाप करेंगे ताकि उनको भी समझ में आए। ये जो सेशन 6 है, ये चैलेंजेस एंड अपॉर्चुनिटी इन क्वालिटी सीडलिंग एंड सीड अवेलेबिलिटी स्पाइसेस हॉर्टिकल्चर एंड प्लांटेशन क्रॉप, ये बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण सेशन है। सुबह से हम लोग जो बातें सुन रहे हैं, इंडस्ट्री का भी बात सुना, किसानों का भी बात सुना। ये एक ऐसा एरिया है जिसके बारे में हम लोग बात करने जा रहे हैं। मैं ये कहूँगा कि जो धान्य फसलें हैं, जो सीरियल्स हैं, उसके मुकाबले ये थोड़ा सा अटेंशन कम गया है कंट्री लेवल पे इस पे। और इसमें जो डिफरेंट स्पीकर्स हैं, एक तो उनसे गुजारिश रहेगी कि जो समय की सीमा है उसका पालन करें। जो वेजिटेबल्स और हॉर्टिकल्चर क्रॉप्स हैं, इसमें बहुत सारे इश्यूज़ हैं। जैसे एक तो इसमें प्रॉपर सीड चेन जो फॉर्मल सीड सेक्टर की है वो है नहीं। यहाँ पे हमारे जो गेस्ट हैं, ऑनरेबल पद्म भूषण डॉक्टर पड़ौदा साहब, डॉक्टर गुप्ता सर और डॉक्टर डी के श्रीवास्तव और जितने भी लोग उपस्थित हैं, सर एक ये बड़ा ही इशू है। जैसे सीरियल क्रॉप्स में एक ऑर्गेनाइज्ड सीड चेन है, वेजिटेबल और ये जो दूसरी क्रॉप्स हैं इसमें उसका अभाव है। तो ये एक बड़ा ही सीरियस इशू है। और अगर हम लोग ये प्रयास करें कि यहाँ से ये एक रिकमेंडेशन जाए, डॉक्टर दिलीप श्रीवास्तव भी यहाँ पे मिनिस्ट्री से हैं, जिस तरह से सर सीरियल्स और पल्सेस ऑयल सीड में एक ऑर्गेनाइज्ड सीड चेन है, इस तरह से प्रॉपर इसका डिमांड नहीं आता है ब्रीडर सीड का, उस वजह से ये कुछ भी प्रोड्यूस नहीं हो पाता है, जिससे फार्मर्स को वास्तव में बड़ा स्पूरियस सीड खरीदना पड़ता है। दूसरा जो सीड मार्केट में है, इसमें जेनेटिक प्योरिटी और वैराइटल ऑथेंटिसिटी का एक बड़ा इशू है, जो प्लांटेशन क्रॉप्स हैं उसके अंदर भी। और इसमें जो 4 R's हैं, जो राइट सीड, राइट वैरायटी, राइट टाइम, राइट प्लेस, वो बड़ा ही इम्पोर्टेंट है। और जो प्लांटिंग मटेरियल की जहाँ बात करते हैं सर, जो नर्सरीज का सर्टिफिकेशन और उसका एक्रेडिटेशन है, ये बड़ा एक इशू है इसमें। और जो अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ हैं वो बहुत सारी हैं इसके अंदर में, क्योंकि वेजिटेबल्स एंड जो फ्रूट्स एंड प्लांटिंग मटेरियल है, ये एक ऐसा एरिया है जिसमें हमारे नवयुवक आकर के न केवल खुद रोजगार का सृजन कर सकते हैं बल्कि और लोगों को भी दे सकते हैं। तो मैं ज़्यादा समय ना लेते हुए, जो पहले स्पीकर हैं आज के डॉक्टर टी.के. बेहरा, जो डायरेक्टर IIVR हैं, इनसे अनुरोध करूंगा कि ये जो इनका प्रेजेंटेशन है, चैलेंजेस एंड अपॉर्चुनिटीज इन वेजिटेबल सीड इंडस्ट्री ऑफ इंडिया, उसके ऊपर में डॉक्टर साहब थोड़ा टाइम का कंस्ट्रेंट का ध्यान रखेंगे।
क्या नाम है?
Which one? Yeah. ऊपर।
Yeah.
Yeah.
ये पॉइंट है, स्लाइड चेंज।
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and the delegates, respected delegates for this particular event and the session. It's a very wonderful time that we have our Dr. H.S. Gupta sir has mentioned the horticulture to be included in this particular program. So I am thankful to him. Because of this one, it is there in the sheet, because as you know, horticulture is important in Indian sector is concerned, and we are producing much more than the other crops is concerned. So at least for the last 5 years, the productions of the horticulture products is more than they compared to the other cereals and other crops here. But it is the right time to have this type of program here. So I am thankful to him. I'll go with the directive that vegetable is important, as you mentioned is clearly that to have the nutritional security of the country, and you know we are having a lot of malnutrition and other things are happening in India. So definitely this horticulture majorly is very important, and particularly vegetables also very important components on that. If you see the World Health Organization have a campaign for 5 days at least you should take vegetables, and most of the take. It is also not only for India, for the total globe, they should have taken this one as a vegetable is important in horticulture production, particularly fruits and vegetables, which is to be utilized 400 grams at least per day per basis, so that your health and other nutrition status will be improved as concerned there. If you see the 2019 Eat Lancet report, you can see the vegetables, half of your plate should be vegetables and fruits, rather than compared to the cereal and other crops, which is very, very important as a product itself. And we have as you know, the health system is concerned, we get the carotenoids, phenolics, folic acid, dietary fiber, all things there in the vegetables, in addition to the nutrition that is there in this particular crop. I'll go that particularly important events in the vegetable is concerned. We are among 60% of the productions of vegetables out of horticulture is only the vegetables. And if you see the crop area is only 42% in the horticulture crop is concerned. And important is that we are contributing about 8.6% vegetable crop area from 16.5% of production system is concerned. And the world, if you say, we have about 58.97 million tons of vegetables, that is area, and we have about 1159 million tons of vegetables, and productivity is very, very high compared to Indian scenario is concerned. If you have 19.7 million hectares in the world average, but only 18.2 the production average in the vegetable productions in this country itself. Definitely we have to increase, because we have area is sinking drastically. We have to go for that vegetable production system or the productivity level to be increased very, very good way. If you see that the productions from the 1951 compared to the 2021-22, already we have, as mentioned, vegetable should be 300 grams and fruit should be 100 grams, so total is about 400 grams. But already we achieved 298 grams. That means only 2 grams we have to achieve, particularly this one. But then whether we need to have research in vegetables, production system is concerned? No, there is definitely yes. Because your burgeoning population is growing up, and you have limited resources, limited land where you have to feed up the people to be coming in the next few generations. So that is very important that we have to definitely the productivity level of the vegetables to be increased. Even if we have increase in the sevenfold in the productivity is concerned, and production is about 11.36 folds we have increased, and area is about 3.7 folds. So there is increase in the production only through the productivity, which is very, very important for all of us. If you see this status, I already mentioned that today in the morning itself, we have about 25,780 exotic indigenous germplasms. In 23 vegetables are collected and deposited in the gene bank of NPPGR. But we need to have still more and more, particularly for these traditional vegetables. We are consuming about 130 vegetables in India, 130 vegetables in India. But only research is only respected in 20 vegetables, and some minor vegetable will consider 22 vegetables. So total about 42 vegetables you are working. But we need to have more and more research in vegetable is concerned with respect to different things what we mentioned. We have about 347 promising vegetable varieties or OP varieties and 181 F1 hybrids, and I think majority of things are also contributed by the both private and public partnership. 59 resistant varieties. Now we have already talking about the different section or different region specific varieties already we have developed. So we have a country about 8 specific regions where we develop these particular varieties, and many of these varieties are performing in 1 or 2 locations or maybe in the 2 regions together, which can also be directly given to the farmers for production. Sorry. If you see the Indian positions of global vegetable productions, I think as you mentioned, vegetable productions we are second in the after China. If you see the okra and other crops, we are in the first positions in this particular crop. Tomatoes, cabbage, lettuce, onion, green peas, cauliflower, potatoes, you are second in production, and many of the vegetables also we are second in production system. But as I mentioned, the productivity is very, very less in this particular crop. We need to have that one to concentrate. Sir, H.S. Gupta sir has mentioned about this export of vegetables. It is a surprise to note that we are having increasing the export of the vegetables. Export of the vegetables in 2021 to 2023, you can see in the graph itself, there's a lot of improvement has been done with respect to this export of vegetables. But it requires certain standards of vegetables, standard of your varieties. That is not done. Also the GAP protocol, which is very, very important, and also the residual toxicity analysis, which is really giving to the boost for this export of the vegetables concerned. Varanasi is one of the center or one of this region for export oriented vegetables to be there, and many people, many farmers are now growing up the vegetables, particularly chili, okra, cucurbits, some of the minor vegetables. They are exporting to the Middle East and also to UK and other countries, particularly for this particular way. Also, you have, as you mentioned, in the UAE, Nepal, UK, Qatar, and these are the main importing of the vegetables is concerned. They are taking the vegetables from this particular in Indians concerned. Export of onion is also very important. That is, as you, sir, Professor R.S. Pradar mentioned, there need to be a crisis. I think this is the only crop where there is a crisis is generated by many people, and tomatoes, recently we have a crisis there. So when there is a crisis, definitely we have to take up. But as I mentioned, the production system is so high, we have huge productions, but these are limited to a particular season. Season-based production is now not to be done. We have to again go for off-season crops, off-season vegetables, where we can scatter our own varieties, which can give a better productivity in different times, so that this type of crisis will not come in India itself. So that is the major concern. Also, we have to do it. Sir, we have the system where the plant breeders, both in the public and private sectors, they are working on that. The farmers need yield, quality, and suitable market and resistance to the stresses, which is very important. Then also the off-season cultivations, again important for us. The industry needs different one. One is the seed industry, food processing industry, and pharmaceutical industry. So they have a different type of trade-specific crops where it is very important for going for this quality test concern. India, if you see the tomato itself, it is very surprising to note that we don't have a processing varieties of tomato till today in India. We, in the public sector, the private sector I am concerning, we have to take either the puree of tomato from the China go for earlier processing, go for tomato sauce and ketchup and other things we are producing. So this is surprising. We don't, now we have started that working of this particular trade specific breeding in the vegetable is concerned, which is major important for that. Food processing industry, pharmaceutical industries are very important, where we have to go for that one. Sir, I will not detail for this one, sorry. As you say, this current status of vegetable is concerned, definitely we have, and seed production is concerned, 4,000 crores of vegetable seed market is there in India itself, and mostly about 80% companies we have working in the vegetables, which is very, very important for us. Seed production is concerned is there. We have a very limited area where we're going for the vegetable seed production, but nowadays a lot of vegetable seed industries also coming in the other parts of the country, which is very important. If you see the private companies, definitely there are only 20-30 which is having a research components here, and they are doing the business also in this particular aspect, which is very important. The challenges is important here, vegetable seed production related challenges, whether it is a climate change, whether it is associated with the pollination, problems linked with the compact areas and seed concept. Other challenges are many. Seed market challenges are very also important, like prices and uncertain seed market, as discussed in the today in the prices also. So that is also very important, but at least we can have some of the things that we have to definitely go for prices based on the commodity and based on the varieties. Policy related changes again need to be in the vegetable sector. I will not go details in this way of these other things, but seed production related programs and other things is very important. But I will directly go to the one of the things is very important the strength is very important, which is we have, as I mentioned, the agroclimatic regions are very much away. We have different temperate crops and vegetable tropical crops where we have a seed production point of view is very important. We have to develop the seed system, multiplication distribution systems linked to the ICR and SAUs and NFC. We have a networking and seed certification agency and notified seed testing laboratories, which is also very important. Large number of seed varieties are different crops suitable for agroclimatic climate. They are already presented, and very fast developing the private seed companies, which is helpful for bridging the gap between demand and supply. Till it is today is going on, as today the one is the discussion was there. Sorry, one slides are left. That discussion was there. What we have developed in the public sector, whether we are getting the salary for that or these things is there is a major concern. But if you believe the earlier private companies, which is totally based on the public sectors, in one variety they have developed now the crores of business and going to a new business and new crops is concerned. Also they have the foundations of these particular companies from this one variety itself. But nowadays, as a public sector, whether it's a state agriculture university or ICAR institute, 30% of the resource generations we have to do either through the licensing or the other different activities. For that, it is very, very essential for licensing our products. But the licensing, as you mentioned today, a lot of things, discussions has been happened. So that way we have to go for that one. This is very important, and we have to go for the need attentions for these particular things, that seed multiplication should be strengthened, and strong indenting system, as today discussed in the other crops itself, in horticulture crops is very important. At least for the state agriculture, functionaries, we have to give the note that whatever the variety, new varieties are coming up, they should be also multiplied, or they should be in the breeder seed indent, which is very, very important. And farmers awareness through a capacity building, it is already going on, so that is also very important for all of us. Credit system and private public partnership, which is very important. We should not blame each other that who is done, what type of things are there. Rather to take a complementary to each other. We have to build up our confidence, as you today mentioned, the trust, which is very, very important. And many of the companies are successful. As I mentioned, in a single variety of IAVR in case of cowpea, they are having crores of business, and they are giving the royalty in some of the companies to the IAVR. So that type of things is there. The trust is there. In some companies we have trust, some companies you don't have trust. So that type of success story you have to build up ourselves. The confidence we have to build up ourselves. I think that is important. Second thing is very important, last one, that the PPP mode also required for starting of the sponsoring of research from the beginning of the research through the exclusive licensing, which is very, very important. If you go to I work in the USA, they have the programs with the inbuilt research system with the private company, and they sponsor it, then go for the exclusive licensing of that particular varieties, which again, we have some programs also there which are working there. So thank you very much. But before that, I just mentioned that we are having this one problem is saying the hybrids to be tested in the different locations. That also we are practicing ourselves with the hybrids which are giving to the private companies for their evaluations, and after that again go for the licensing. So that we started. Also the networking projects on the both public-private partnership, we are working in the okra and some of the crop itself. So that will be also benefited to both these sectors is concerned. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Behra, for a very excellent presentation and giving overview. Now, before moving to Dr. Shankaran, there is a request Dr. N. Netra has to leave. So there is a slight change, and Dr. Netra may present first. Please come.
Yeah, please. Okay.
Good evening, everyone. I'm sorry for this, and respected convener, chair, co-chair, rapporteurs, and dear delegates of this 12th National Seed Congress. The slides. Not this, not this. आज का डेट दिया था. Today I am here to present a topic on the coexistence of competitive interspersed staminate flowers in pistillate line of castor, an obstacle in seed production. As we all know, castor is a cross-pollinated, protogynous and wind-pollinated crop. It is grown all around tropical and semi-tropical regions. Castor is an industrially important oil seed crop, and because of its non-edible oil, mainly because of the lubricant, it has high viscosity, and castor oil is rich in ricinoleic acid. In India is the largest castor oil in the marketing of the castor oil is done in India. Because of the hybrid seed production, advances in the hybrid seed production, there are a lot of hybrids is being cultivated in India, and the mechanism for hybrid seed production is the pistillate mechanism. In pistillate mechanism, there are three types. One is the N type, S type, and the NES type. Here we are going to explore the NES types for the hybrid seed production, which is environmentally sensitive. This is a very interesting topic for the climate change today, because there is a temperature variation when the seed production is happening. As we all know, castor is sexually polymorphism. That is, the sex expression in castor is of three different types. That is, completely monoecious raceme, complete female of the pistillate raceme, or the pistillate raceme with the interspersed staminate flowers. And there are also sex revertants. This happens because of the increase in temperature from 32 or 42 degrees Celsius, and also it could be because of the low temperature also that sex reversions happen. The main problem that we are facing in the hybrid seed production is the interspersed staminate flowers, which comes in a way of the seed quality also, and seed yield also will be reduced. So due to this expression of ISFs, farmers are facing difficulties to remove the ISFs, and it increases the seed production cost. In order to reduce the number of roguing operations and maintain the genetic purity, we need to understand the competitive nature of pollen produced by these ISFs over male flower pollen. As in the panel discussion second, our Dr. Suresh from Bayer Crop Sciences was insisting in the morning that we have to reduce the labor cost, we have to reduce the seed production cost, etc. So this project answers those questions in castor. So we ourselves asked an interesting question, whether these competitive interspersed staminate flowers will come in the way of hybrid seed production when we are comparing with the monoecious male parental line. To answer this question, we framed two objectives or the two experiments. One is the in vitro experiment and the in vivo fertilization experiment. The in vitro experiment is the laboratory experiment where we have conducted the pollen germination percentage and the pollen tube growth, and the pollen number also was counted. In the in vivo fertilization experiment, we have done it in the field. So let's see what happens with the first experiment. Here we have selected the parental lines, 2 parental lines we have been selected, and the F1s are ICH66 and DCH177. The pollen was collected at 3 different time intervals, that is 7, 9 and 11 am. After the flowers are collected, we have standardized the media composition also. And these are the media that has been done. The inoculation of the collected pollen grains were done on the based on the hanging drop technique. It's a unique technique where we can put the pollens on the cavity slides, and then it has been incubated for 24 hours at 1 hour at 27 plus or minus 1 degree Celsius. And after this, the germinated pollen from 30 cavities for each genotype were counted, and the pollen tube length for 100 randomly selected pollen grain of each genotype was measured using a microscope. From our study, it is evident that 9 am is the best for pollen germination percentage. But I would like to stress upon these points. Irrespective of the time of collection of pollen, the ISFs, that is interspersed staminate flowers, has given a very good pollen germination percentage. So this proves that ISFs are competitive than the monoecious male parent. This is the table that is depicting, and the germination percentage is higher, as I told, in the female lines when compared to the monoecious male lines for both pollen tube length also. Another experiment and another method that we followed to count the pollen number per anther is the sonication method. First, we collected the flowers and dried in the oven, and then separation was done on the dried anthers, and then it was put onto the 20% tween solution with the sonicator method. And these were the results that were got. The number of pollen per anther again is more in the ISFs when compared to the male parental line. So that experiment concludes that ISFs are really competent than the male parental line pollen grains. To prove this theory, we again did the in vivo fertilization experiment in castor, where we have done a unique technique where we mixed the ISF pollen grains with the monoecious male parental pollen grains in a ratio of 1:2 and 1:4. After mixing the pollen grains, we have dusted onto the stigmatic surface, and rebanking was done after pollination. After maturity, we have harvested the F1 seeds and then tested for the grow out test. This we have done with the for the grow out test in the field as well as in the molecular marker testing. So from this also we see that the germination percentage is also higher in the 1:4 ratio and compared with the 1:2 ratio. With the parental line, that is ICH66 when compared with the other hybrid. And here also the number of expected plants, the last column will tell us that there are selfed plants even with the mixed pollen grains also in both the ratios. So this again tells the same percentage. So from this study, we again did the molecular marker analysis with the SSR markers that were available. We have standardized this, and this also tells that there were selfed plants in it. So finally, I would like to conclude or say that this in vitro pollen germination and the in vivo fertilization experiment showed that ISFs of the female flowers are more competitive than the male parental line. So it is necessary to rogue out the ISFs from the flower bud before the pollination is happening. Thank you so much, and thanks for the organizer for giving me this opportunity. Thank you all.
Much for a very excellent presentation. Since you will be leaving, so one question can be allowed. So if anyone has any question, yeah.
Well, good afternoon to all. This is a good presentation,
Thank you, sir.
and since 20 years back, I come back to my Hyderabad field.
Okay.
So DPC 9, DCS 9, DCH 177, SKP 84, I have seen all those things. I have in fact developed DPC 9, where
Very nice.
the reversion was 0. Okay, it is a non-diverted pistolate lines. It maintained its pistolate ness up to 20th order of its branching. Over 1.5 years I have studied, it was there. Now I don't know, maybe it is reverted back to a sort of, let me speak.
Yeah.
Nothing, you need not comment it. Okay. Lastly, I will put one point to you.
Okay, sir.
So this is the story, and you know all these VP1 to LRES 17 to DPC 9, DPC 10, all these pistolate lines, they are derived from a non-revertant phenomena, and then non-divertant type having the interspersed staminate flowers expressed at high temperature. It is a temperature sensitive interspersed staminate flowers. That is the only possibility to maintain the female lines.
Correct.
That's what in Hyderabad conditions,
Correct.
I used to take up this female line seed production at ICRISAT at 40 plus temperatures. Okay, so no reversion was there. It was not allowed. It is only interspersed staminate flowers was the pollen source for maintenance of female lines, whether it is a LRES 17 or DPC 9. Now, your study also says that ISF's flowers are more competitive than
The monoecious
normal
male.
monoecious flowers. Yes. But in our hybrid seed production now, it is changed system. It is not based on the PP1 based production system. It is LRES based production system or DPC 9 based production system, where reversion is not there at all in the genetic system. It is all interspersed staminate flowers, which is not expressed in the low temperature conditions.
Correct.
That's why we recommend that hybrid seed production is to be taken up in the cooler conditions.
Correct.
And female line seed production is to be there in the higher temperature conditions. In your study also proves that.
Sir, kindly conclude.
Yeah, I'll only few seconds.
Yeah.
Then 7 AM, 9 AM and 11 AM,
11
it is meaningless unless you put the temperature there. At what temperature it is. Okay, because roguing has to be done in the early morning time. So no, these things will be there. And if it is done, considering the seed production areas, I think this problem should not occur. If genetically it is pure.
Thank you. Thank you for good work.
Okay, sir.
Keep
Thank
it
you.
up.
Okay.
Now I will invite one of the most experienced person in seed industry, Dr. Shankaran, and he will be speaking on scope and need for plant seed production program in medicinal and aromatic plants. Again, very important crops which can really fetch higher prices to the farmers. So Dr. Shankaran, please.
Respected Dr. Parona sir and all the learned delegates, it's my sincere pleasure to be here to share with you all an important and a neglected topic for that matter, that is relating to the seed program in medicinal and aromatic plants. The importance of medicinal plant, I think I should like to highlight now. In India, out of 17,000 species of higher plants, 7,500 are of medicinal value. This proportion is the highest in the country, in any country, for the existing flora there. Ministry of Environment, etc., Government of India has identified and documented 9,000 species of medicinal and aromatic plants, which are significant for the pharmaceutical and herbal industry as well as the perfume industry. Ayurveda, the oldest medical system in Indian subcontinent, reports 2,000 medicinal plant species, and so also the Siddha, Unani, homeopathy, etc. They have listed quite a good number of medicinal plants. 90% of their medical formulations are based on plant-based. And Botanical Survey of India has listed, India is gifted with more than 8,000 types of medicinal plants. Traditional health system, Ayurveda, etc., they prefer the medicinal plant system because of the holistic system, holistic treatment, and also being economical with the least side effects. India is the second largest exporter of medicinal and aromatic plant products next to China. Many medicinal plant species have curative properties for more than one disease. That is, for instance, as an example, for diabetes, it is this particular sarsaparilla for 34 types of diabetes, etc., etc. So, like similarly, one ailment can be cured by more than a dozen type of medicinal plants. The medicinal and aromatic plants are found in Himalayan region to marine desert to rainforest ecosystem, mostly in wild, that is very important, mostly in wild natural situations, thriving mostly by self-seeding and self-regeneration by virtue of the inherent inbuilt survival system. Nobody is sowing that. It is on self-seeding. About 1,178 species of medicinal plants are estimated to be in trade, of which 240 have annual consumption of more than 100 metric tons. Medicinal plants are not only a major resource base for the traditional medicine herbal industry, but also they provide livelihood and health security for the society. Indian Medicinal Plant Database is a very important database of the National Medicinal Plant Board and the Foundation for Revitalization of Local Health Traditions, Bangalore. It is listing 7,200 on odd botanical names. That's interesting. Botanical names are so many, and vernacular names. The important point here is vernacular names of all those 7,200 or 1,50,000 vernacular names are there. Same botanical name item is known by a dozen names in different languages in the vernacular language, the various part. As a result, we are not able to link it at all. That is a confusion in the medicinal plant identification. Database mentions Ayurveda is about 2,500, etc., etc. That much number of medicinal plants are listed in the database. Bulk of the documentation is on human health, but the medicinal plants are also useful for livestock and poultry, but they are very less quoted. So therefore, medicinal plants need attention. Many medicinal plants are annuals, while some are perennials, and some are herbs, and some are trees, some are vegetative propagated, some are seed propagated, some are cross-pollinated, some are self-pollinated. That's a complexity. The floral biology, pollen, etc. is quite a complex thing in the medicinal plants. In many cases, the important point here is in many cases, the actual propagating material, that the seed or rhizome or bulb or tuber or slips or cutting, etc., is also the raw material for the herbal formulation. As a result, what is happening is they are meant for herbal form. In such a cases, the crude collection from the wild nature by the raw produce material trade without caring for, leaving for, allowing for regeneration, recouping is a serious problem. As a result, when they pull out, the whole rhizome goes for commercial purpose, but it is not seed, it is not sown. Major volume of medicinal plants are from the wild. Indiscriminate harvesting practices from the wild result in rapid degradation of the natural biodiversity coupled with the proper regeneration, poor regeneration capacity. Overexploitation and continuous depletion of medicinal plants have affected their supply and loss of genetic diversity. Impact is more where it is a propagating material. Also affected the livelihood of indigenous people living in those forest area, tribal areas. This affects the production, and more importantly, the overall therapeutic and perfume quality of the raw material is governed more by the active ingredient, which is lost. More than 10,000 licensed pharmacies are there, 7.2 lakh registered practitioners are there in this profession. They all need quality raw material with required active ingredient. That's very important. See, in the same tulsi plant, you take one leaf, it will have one active ingredient, and the same active ingredient, next leaf. That's the kind of a criticality. The All India Trade Survey mentioned that the medicinal plant demand has increased by 50%, but availability has declined by 29%. Industry estimates herbal production market is by 50,000 crore and 15% annual increase. WHO is also giving a very good, interesting statistics. In India, the medicinal plant Ayush has estimated 8,300 crore, and the huge gap between the demand and supply is a crucial issue here. And urban medicinal plant area is still small, 6.3 lakh hectares only out of the total 1,600 lakh hectares. Rajasthan has the highest area, followed by other states. Production-wise, MP ranks the first, followed by other states. 80% is important here. 80% of the medicinal plants are gathered from the wild, while 69% are collected by using destructive farming practice. These make the species rare, endangered, and threatened, a disturbing situation. And therefore, 65 species of the total species are in critically endangered condition. Urgent action is required to attend to this disturbing, painful situation. In the light of the foregoing, sir, the Indian seed sector cannot and should not remain a silent spectator anymore. A good and firm beginning should be made soon for quality seed production and availability of at least some of the major selected medicinal plants. To start with, seed propagated medicinal plants at least can be taken because that is more convenient to handle, and the seed sector is more conversant with that, except for potato. Otherwise, the seed sector is not on any vegetative propagated material. At least to start with the seed propagated. Growing and maintaining medicinal plant tree types are also there. Plenty of the vegetative propagated materials in the farms you have it. Once you have it, you can use it as the medicinal plant supply as well as the propagating material. An all-encompassing solution is required, and comprehensive, all-inclusive seed plant scheme for the medicinal aromatic plants are needed at the national and state level, as was done and as is being adopted for many other crops such as HIVP, TMOP, isopalm, etc., you name them. The recent one is the millet mission. Minister of Oils has prioritized for medicinal plant cultivation for subsidized 70%, 50%, 30%, depending upon endangered or danger or threatened. And the National Medicinal Plant Board also is promoting the concept, but unfortunately, seed production activity is still almost zero. And they have listed about subsidy facility for 10 items. Voluntary certification is also available under the National Medicinal Board, but unfortunately the crucial issue is pure genetic material is not available for voluntary certification. And the NBBGR Gene Bank also has got a collection, but the number of species listed are not covering all the. And PVPR registration, only one medicinal plant is registered under the PVPR today as of now. And the geographical indication status also is confusing because the terminologies or nomenclature is so confusing. And therefore, the directory of medicinal plant growers is needed in the form of a target group. Key factors for successful medicinal plant production are awareness and interest of the farmers and quality seed availability and the list of them. And based on all this, a totally unexplored, untouched, unreached area available for the Indian seed sector to attend to immediately is this. In all, about 85 to 90 field crops are there, vegetable crops are there handled by the seed sector, but no medicinal plant is produced by seed of any medicinal plant is not produced by any seed sector, organic seed sector in the country. This is a very pathetic situation, sir. We may realize it after maybe 100 years that today only 61 medicinal plants are extinct, and tomorrow after 10 years we do not know what is the situation. So we cannot be a silent spectator at all. And on the other hand, the ICR and the National Agriculture System and the SCAU system, etc., CSCR institution, they have plenty of excellent knowledge available and plenty of varieties have come out, but these varieties from the crop improvement program are not available in the seed program at all. As a result, the hard work of crop improvement is just lying in the shelves. And non-availability of, on the other hand, the pharmaceutical sector and herbal industry sector are suffering for quality material, raw material, because pharmacognosy is very important concept of medicinal plant, where the active ingredient composition is very important. And regular availability of quality series. Therefore, way forward, I have listed 20 of them. I will not read all of them. The 20 important issues for action are there as a way forward. The public and private sector should explore all of them. Seed sector can play a playing role. An in-depth study of the item-wise is there. Detailed consultations with the... Sir, knowledge is available, but unfortunately we have not come together. This is a very big missing link in this. And catalog of medicinal plant species, varieties from among those released from the NAIK system is required. Status of commercial crop production is not known, it has to be done. Estimate of the total quantity of seed required and seed sown is not available, it has to be done. And interestingly, no medicinal plant breeder seed intent is available. As a result, the breeder seed, foundation seed, certified seed chain is just not existing at all, sir. And then quality specifications for seed and quality verification procedures for seed are not available, they have to be done. And I think we have a long way to go, sir, and I have listed 20 of them. I don't want to necessarily stand in the way of your... and the national, state level, short, medium, long-term plan for cultivation of medicinal plants is required that will generate seed requirement. Just like HIVP, when HIVP seed requirement was, seed came up because of the area coverage. Similarly, seed plans and seed schemes for program, but the seed sector are to make available in time the required quantities of seed of medicinal plant is required for area coverage, and strong linkages required with all of them, and to enhance export market. And institutions involved are, I have just listed about 25 institutions are there where you can liberally just interact and then get the knowledge of information on that. And advantages of medicinal plant, I don't have to say that. Tentative list of, I have made 50 medicinal plants I have identified out of all the 7,000 plants. 50 of them I have identified, and I think at least out of the 50, at least 5 we should take it. And lastly, I want to say thought is the seed of action. And today, if this thought is becoming the seed, it will be the action, and nothing ever grows without seed, and nothing happens without effort. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have miles to go, promises to keep, and I have miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. This is a statement by Robert Frost, which Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, our ex-Prime Minister, he used to keep it under the table glass. And I think we should get inspired by this kind of a situation, and I think we have a long way to go, sir. Medicinal plant, let us not ignore anymore. I think we are, otherwise we will be doing injustice to the profession. Thank you so much. Sorry if I am a bit harsh.
Thank you, Dr. Saab. Thank you very much.
Emotionally attached, that's why.
Thank you very much. You have given an overview, and this is an area which is really untouched, and there is a huge scope in future. And thank you for collecting so much of information and providing us. Due to paucity of time, we could not allow you more. Now I request Dr. Behra to take further proceedings.
Okay, so thank you, Dr. Now we'll take another presentation by Dr. Sudipta Basu, Quality Seed Productions of Gynosis Cucumber Hybrid under Protected Conditions. Please.
Respected chairman, co-chairman, dignitaries of the dais, fellow participants of National Seed Congress, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be presenting my talk on quality seed production of gynaeceous cucumber hybrids under protected condition. Cucumber is an important cucurbitaceous crop, and it is a monoecious crop where male and female flowers are borne on the different nodes. We have a very high sex ratio, that is very less number of female flowers or pistillate flowers as compared to the male flower. And first the staminate flowers come in the vine, and then after 5 to 7 nodes the female flowers are born. So sex expression largely depends on environmental conditions, short day, lower temperature, higher humidity conditions, which facilitate induction of pistillate flowers, which is a favorable condition. And for seed production, we usually go for, since it is a cross-pollinated crop and pollinated by insects, in normal we go for outcrossing. But for gynaeceous line and other where we require some specific traits are there, we go for hand pollination. Because the flower size is big and we have more number of seeds per pollination, and the quality, the price of the hybrid seed is also higher. The constraints of seed production is that in traditional cucumber lines, the sex ratio is very high, fruit bearing capacity per vine is also low, and crop is sensitive to environment condition, where when the temperatures are higher or adverse conditions are there, there is induction of more male flowers. There are higher number of unfilled and poorly filled seeds, and there is also presence of seed dormancy. And we have to spray growth regulators to improve the plant growth or improve the seed setting. Now, various sex forms are available in cucumber, which are monoecious, gynaeceous, parthenocarpic. In my talk, I will be concentrating on gynaeceous line. Gynaeceous lines were earlier based in the temperate background. So they were very sensitive under Indian conditions. Now IRI, Division of Vegetable Science, has developed gynaeceous lines with, which are very much stable under high temperature conditions. And for hybrid seed production, we take the female parent as gynaeceous and male parent or the pollen parent as monoecious line. In preferred ratio is 3:1. And in the top, you can see the tropical gynaeceous lines, which we will be using for the, which we have used for the study, that has been developed by our vegetable division. And parthenocarpic gynaeceous lines are also there, which is in the lower side, where you can see that all the, we have multiple pistillate flowers, each node. So full plant is with only pistillate flowers. So that improves the seed setting or the fruit bearing capacity and the per plant seed yield. Now the average productivity of cucumber in India is low because primarily our farmers are using the monoecious line. So because we do not have proper standardized technology of seed production in parthenocarpic, gynaeceous or parthenocarpic gynaeceous hybrids or open pollinated varieties. In the studies, I have made an effort to standardize the hybrid seed production technology of gynaeceous hybrid, which has been developed by IRI. So the hybrid is Pusa cucumber gynaeceous hybrid 18. The female parent is a monoecious line and the male parent is gynaeceous line. And we have done the study in 4 seasons, 2 in Kharif or the rainy season and 2 in spring summer season. We have studied the flowering behavior, fruit setting behavior with respect to seed production and seed dormancy studies, because 3 to 4 month dormancy is there. So that sometimes hinders the use of the seed. And application of silver thiosulfate, which is required for maintenance of the gynaeceous line. So here what we have found, in female line, the female flower is born on the 2nd to 3rd node. And in male line, 12 to 13 node, we are getting the pistillate flower. And in the converted gynaeceous, after spraying, on 9 to 10th node, the female flower comes. So early the female flower, we have better chance of getting higher fruit and seed yield. So here we can see each node has the female flower and the fruit after pollination. And we studied the stigma resistivity studies. It is by alcohol dehydrogenase method. These are standard protocols. And in this, like in coal crops, one day before pollination also sometimes the stigma is receptive. Here we tried to study that, and we found just on the day of anthesis only the stigma is receptive. So one day before and one day after the pollination is not feasible. So we should pollinate only on the day of pollination. And different time of day, like immediately after harvest, after 2 hours, both in spring, summer and monsoon season we tried, we found that between 6 to 10 a.m. early in the morning. So that is a better preferred time because stigma is more receptive. And we have studied with H2O2, that is the reaction in which we put the reagent on the pollen. So more the bubbles, higher is the receptivity. So in the morning hours, we found that more receptivity is there, gradually it reduces. We also tried in the field by pollination method, we found that up to 10 a.m. the seed setting is higher. And pollen viability studies we have used. Potassium iodide staining is the best method for pollen stigma studies, and pollen can be stored for 3 days under ambient condition, but stored pollen does not form seed when we use that for pollination. And this is the different way of doing pollination, and this is the fruit set at different stages. This is the field. And multiple pollination, many reports are there that multiple pollination is very good or we get higher seed yield, but in our case we didn't find that multiple pollination was effective. And fruit retention, different number of fruit per vine we kept, and we found that 4 fruits in Kharif season and 3 fruits in spring summer season was better for optimizing the seed yield. And this is the way, this is the experimental way where we extract the seed by fermentation method. And maintenance of gynoecious line, we can use silver thiosulfate at 3 millimolar concentration at 3 true leaf stage, twice 7 days interval. And after that we can go for selfing for production of gynoecious lines. And in gynoecious line, initial 4 to 5 nodes, we will get this hermaphrodite flowers, which will set the seed. That is, they are bisexual flowers. So we should pinch them off, and only pistillate flowers we should retain, and then we should do the pollination. And seed dormancy, usually it has a morphophysiological dormancy, and it is for 3 to 4 months. So because of impermeable seed coat, we did the tetrazolium test, and we found that the seeds were viable, but they were germinating only after 4 months of natural aging. So we found that up to 25 days there is germination, or seed coat is very permeable. After that, seed coat thickens and depositions occur and the dormancy is set in. So we tried different treatments. So gibberellic acid, scarification and dry heat treatment is quite effective in breaking the dormancy. Our field was visited by various dignitaries in IRI. They also suggested we improved our technology based on their suggestions. And finally, I conclude that male parents for hybrid seed production should be planted 7 days before planting the female line, and 3:1 ratio is good for hybrid seed production. The production in Kharif season is higher, but the spring summer season the quality is better because the dormancy is less, and the seed yield of 2 to 2.5 kg per 100 square meter we get, and the cost benefit cost ratio is 2.3 to 1. And future areas of research, because this work was done under institutional project in 2 years, so we should do large scale seed production under farmers field for better acclimatization of the technology, and standardization of seed production technology of other gynoecious and gardeniaceous parthenocarpic hybrids which are being released by the Division of Vegetable Science. Feasibility analysis of the technology is required, and then only we can go for commercialization. I would like to acknowledge all the persons who have helped me in doing this work. And I also would like to thank the organizer for giving me this opportunity at the fag end of the seminar when everybody is waiting for the plenary session. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So thank you, Dr. Sudipta. It's a nice presentation, and it's an important topic, particularly for the seed production in the gynoecious cucumber hybrids. Really to see that one. So we'll discuss some of the points after all the presentations over. Yeah, thank you very much. And Dr. P.K. Nagre is in studies in organic seed productions in Indian spinach. Is there? Dr. Nagre from Akula? No. So the next presentations we have Dr. Neha Kumari, the effect of altitudinal ranges of growth, flowering and seed production in different varieties of petunia. Is there? Okay, so thank you. That was our time is again it's adjusted here. So important is that any questions related to the presentations which is just over, please have one or two questions in if you have something. Yeah, because I know that we have 20 minutes as given, but 10 minutes I have to complete. So I know what are the problems there to have this one. But anyway, if you have any questions or one or two, please go ahead there. Oh, no questions. So thank you very much, sir. I must thank to this one. But again, important event as you mentioned, sir, one or two just this one.
Production of cucurbits, sorry, cucumber. Madam has recorded 100 square meter. It is a 2 to 2.5 kg. Is it net house condition? Net house, is it recording, madam?
Okay, I think we'll go. I'll first have some points to be there. As I mentioned, many things, the discussions were there in the meeting itself to how to have that vegetable, the horticulture as a planting material is concerned is very important. We have also the programs also going on and the quarantine and some issues, sanitation and phytosanitary in case of horticulture crops, including apple and other planting material, seed planting material also. Regarding the vegetables, as you mentioned, that we have a lot of things that have been happened here, and most of the things already we have discussed in different sessions, so I will not go in the detail. But as important is that many of the crops, particularly in medicinal crops, what he has mentioned about 1178 species we have, but only few of them we are having commercialized or having the seeds of the seed crops has been taken from this medicinal important is very important. And also the flower crops in most of the countries, if you see, is a very important component, particularly for the dust testing and other protections of the varieties concerned. But many of these things is not till today been done in the PPB FRA, particularly for the registrations of these particular varieties in respect to the different flower crops and the ornamental crops concerned, which is a major concern. Other is they are taking it from the other countries, or we have our own materials. So that is very, very important. So it should also be addressed in this particular session. And then about the GI tag, also some Dr. Saab has mentioned in medicinal plants. Also still in the vegetable crops, some of the crops we have already GI tag already been done through this way in different vegetable crops. But they need more and more attention to the horticulture crop is concerned, which is very, very important in that way. Then, as you mentioned about the this parthenocarpic development of the seeds, what in vegetable, particularly in the cucumber, is very important. If you go for the parthenocarpic with gynoecious, what is there in the English type, it is very, very easy. In the every node you can get it, the flowers and the fruits. But if you go for the seed production, we can only 2 or 3 fruits you can go for that and only go for the seed production. So it is a major challenge what he has mentioned. We definitely we have to go for the seed production. But then important is the pollen biology. It's very, very important in all the crops as you go for the seed production point of view. It has not been touched in many of the crops in horticulture crops is concerned. I don't know about the cereal crops and other crops, but still we need to have a pollen biology study which is done some of the crops, but at least we can have the more of the crops. So thank you very much, the organizers, to give me an opportunity. So hand over to the co-chair again. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So finally, we have come to the end of this very important session, which deals with the challenges and opportunities in quality seedling and seed availability of horticulture crops, plantation crops, spices. There were 2 lectures. Lead presentation by Dr. T.K. Beharas and Dr. Shankaran, and they were very comprehensive. And I would like to mention that Dr. Shankaran has touched a very important aspect of the very untouched area, and which has a great potential. Our present chairman ASRB, he has been presenting that lakhs income from small farmers, particularly they can get from these medicinal aromatic plants. And there was 2 presentations by Dr. Netra and Dr. Sudipta Basu, And as my co-chair has already mentioned, they were very good, very excellent presentations. And with this, I must thank the organizer for giving me this opportunity. And since all of us have to rush, so we will close it here. Thank you very much.
So we must thank also to the rapporteur to present this one. So it is very important that they are there to make the proceedings. Thank you very much, sir.
I would like to share this presentation to every one of you, whoever wants it, because I think it will stimulate our action from that only. Because it has so, I mean, you will feel sorry that, oh, we haven't done anything so far. So I think, therefore, I would like to share that presentation to those who are interested, and I think we have a long way to go. This is my submission. Thank you.
So, before vote of thanks, I request Dr. Beg to offer the bouquet and memento to the rapporteur. First of all, Dr. Satish Yadav, sir.
It was originally known.
And the next, Dr. Munde, sir. So, on behalf of this organizing committee, I will extend my vote of thanks to the sincere thanks to Honorable Co-Chairman Dr. Lakshmikant ji and Dr. Behera ji, and then Dr. Srinivas ji acting as a convener of the session, who has put valuable remarks. And I also thankful to two dynamic rapporteurs who has taken care of all these proceedings, Dr. Munde and Dr. Yadav sir. I also thanks to all the presenters, who has particularly Dr. Behera ji, Dr. Shankar ji, and who is the lead presenters of this session. And I also my sincere thanks to all the delegates and the dignitaries who is off the dais and on the dais. Thank you.